Hello and welcome to Chicks Chat Radio, and for those of you watching on YouTube at ChicksConnect. I'm your host, Tita Freytag, chair chick of Spring Chicks in Springfield, Oregon, and your connection to health options that can change life. I have my friend and fellow ChicksConnect member, Mary Kirkpatrick, here with me today. While growing up, whenever someone would ask her what she wanted to be when she grew up, she would say, a teacher. And she did get her degree in elementary education and taught for 3 years. She started to question the choice that she had made as a child. So after pursuing many avenues in search for the avenue that felt right for her, she eventually worked at a health food store and found that she had interest in natural healing arts and decided that massage was where she wanted her life's work. Initially, she was licensed in Florida, and when moving to Oregon, attained her license there. As a massage therapist, she explored many areas of health, feeling that prevention is much easier than cure. One of the most basic of these is hydration and the importance of good quality water. I can't wait to hear more about this. Welcome, Mary. How are you today?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Happy to hear from you. Tell us a little bit of the story behind what you're doing today and what challenges you may have faced along the way.
Well, you mentioned that I worked at a health food store, and that led me to making decisions about, am I going to pursue insurance, which I call not health insurance, but disease insurance, basically, or am I going to put my funds into natural healing arts and support my health as much as I could. And I chose that path, and it worked out very well for me. I've been healthy pretty much my whole life, and I credit some of that to those decisions that I made. One of the things that happened when I was exposed to the health food store was I decided that massage therapy was really the route I wanted to take. And I initially looked for this school, my ideal school, which was way across the country in Arizona or New Mexico, actually. And then I realized, there's a school right here where I was in Sarasota, Florida. So I went to school there. And once you're in massage, then you get exposed to even more things. And one of the things that I got involved with was whole food-based supplements. I got involved with sound therapy. I got involved with essential oils. I got involved with therapeutic lights. But the first thing that really caught my eye that I got involved with was water. And why I did that was that the body is basically 60% water, and the brain and the heart are 83% water, the skin 64%, the kidneys 79%, and even the bones are 3% water. So it's the basic element of our whole existence. Our body is 60% water, and some parts of it, the really navigating parts, are even more. So it's really critical that we have good quality water. And I kind of stumbled onto a water filter early on in the late 1980s. And in researching it after the fact, I found that I had made a really good choice. And there's this organization called NSF, And NSF certifies a variety of different things, like air filters and water filters and other vitamins and all kinds of things. They just certify in order to hold people true and companies true to what they say. And if you're saying something and you're NSF certified, they're checking to make sure that that's true. So it's not the company saying, oh yeah, trust me. It's certified and tested. And we give our product to them to test. But it doesn't stop there. NSF does an unannounced visit to the company, and they take offline product twice a year, and they test it to make sure that it's still meeting their standards, that we didn't give them like a super fine one, and that what we send out to people is something different. If they're going to put their name on it, they want to know that it's good. So NSF certifies us, and when you look at the thousands of filters that they certify, when you certify for various things. Ours is certified for 82 plus known contaminants. The plus is that some of our filters filter for more than that. Sometimes what happens is something that we haven't asked them to certify us for, it takes care of anyway, you know. So sometimes they'll add a test on and we'll test for that. And it's like, without making any changes in our product, oh yeah, and it's good for that too, by the way. And I just heard the other day that in in 2009, there was a lot going on about PFOAs. And when others were looking for solutions for what could handle that, one of the things they looked at was our filter. So they looked at our filters and they found out that, yeah, that was good for reducing that. And here's a telltale little tip when you're looking for language when people are talking about a product. If somebody says it removes, that's a telltale sign that it's not certified. Because there is no test that goes to 0. So you can only test to where you can test to. And then it's like, we're 99.9% sure that this is taken care of, but we can only test to where we can test to. And so, you know, that's like a telltale like sign. So why I feel this passion for water is that, one, it's most of our body. It's the biggest percentage of our body. So what we're taking into our body, in the old days, prior to, you know, chemical companies taking over everything, you knew your water table and it was pretty good. And unless there was something, a bacteria or something that took over, that would be temporary. But these chemicals are in our water now, and they're in our water, many of them for a long, long time. These PFOAs and PFASs are, they're long-standing, and they don't break down very easily or very quickly in our water. So it isn't like it's here today, gone tomorrow. These products are the products that came into being when we decided that Teflon was a good idea. So every time we're washing our Teflon pans, a little bit of that gets washed into our water system. And then we had our rainproof fabrics that had the coating on them. So every time you wash your jacket that has that in it, you're contributing a little bit more into our atmosphere. The carpet cleaning, the stain prevention on our carpets contributes to that. The flame retardants on the clothes, all of those are, every time we do our laundry, are contributing to that chemical being in our water system. We really have no, the water distributors, you know, like Eugene Water, Springfield Water System, they don't take those out. It's too expensive for them to do that. Our water bills would be sky high, but we can do point of use filtration and do that fairly economically, considering the health risk that's there when we don't do that. So that's a huge aspect. Just checking my notes here.
Yeah, that's okay. Check your notes. I know that we have, I've had the privilege of being able to spend time with Mary in our ChicksConnect meetings. And so I've definitely learned a lot from her. And Mary, I know that you have mentioned, and forgive me if I'm getting you off track of your notes there. You're probably going to talk about this, but you know, the whole issue of buying bottled water and things like that, I'm really looking forward to that. That's coming next, right?
Plastic in big letters.
Yeah.
So, and a factoid that I just got yesterday in preparing for this interview is that there are now 1 million bottles, plastic bottles, used every minute globally. Every
Oh my God.
minute globally. So the plastic issue is like bigger than our water issue. But the plastic, a lot of it is, you know, we wrap everything in plastic now. No matter what I go, I mean, there's just been a little tiny bit of change. I picked up something the other day and it was in a glass jar. And I went, yes! And it's like, so I paid a little more for the shipping of that, you know, it's okay. Because what we're going to be paying for is the loss of our planet. Mm. So plastic is a huge issue, and once people figured out that the water was contaminated, they were looking for an easy fix for the water issue. And so I'm always appalled when I go to the grocery store and I see people, like, especially now, with their baskets full of bottled water. And that bottled water, the EPA overlooks the water treatment facilities. They sort of do a checkup. The water treatment facilities have to put out a report once or twice a year, and they oversee that. The FDA oversees the bottled water. So they really don't require any testing. So there have been there's been arsenic found in bottled water. Most of the bottled water is treated, briefly filtered, mostly to take out the chlorine or the chloramine to be able to improve the taste. They're primarily interested in having it taste good, taste better than your tap water. But it isn't, it might not be as good even health-wise as your tap water. And it comes in plastic. And that plastic breaks down while that's in that bottled water. So you've got, there's this other issue. It has to be processed in a plant. So there's a plant that processes that and puts it in the bottles. Then those bottles have to be transported to distribution centers. Then those distribution centers take it to your grocery store or the gas station or wherever you can pick up the bottled water today. And then you go to the grocery store and you bring it home with you. So that's all taking gas and oil. And the plastic is a petroleum product as well. So yay for the oil companies. So sorry, but the plastic does not break down. It goes into smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller pieces. So they've done some testing around the country for testing to see if there are microplastic pieces in our water supply, and they are there. And one of the places they tested was the EPA. So anyway, so there's a lot of issues with plastic beyond what the water is, but at least let's try to get people away from that. It's a very, very poor solution, and it's costly. The filter that I have, is good for a year, and the cost of that per gallon is about 9 cents a gallon. The cost of the bottled water gets astronomical if you do it per gallon. So even if I just did an 8-ounce bottle, I would beat it. But when I do a gallon, it's way a huge savings that you would make. So you make a small investment initially, and that gets you your water system, and then once a year you replace the inner part, which is the actual filter. So initially you're paying for the housing, and then you're just going to pay that minimal amount per year, which is $70 a year. and less if you do automatic reorder. So you're paying a lot more than that if you're getting bottled water, a lot more than that.
Mhm.
So right now, there is a special on for anyone that orders a new unit this month by before the end of the month. They can get a water filter, a shower filter. So the shower filter goes on the shower, and it doesn't need to take out all the contaminants. But the chlorine that's in that water is not good for our bodies. And so it reduces the chlorine in that. And that gives you a much nicer shower time. And I don't know if you're sensitive smell-wise, if people can smell the chlorine or not. I can't, but a lot of people are sensitive that way. But our skin doesn't smell it, but it will absorb it. So this is, in massage school, this is a semi-permeable membrane. It takes things in, it lets things out. So this is an important part as well. So getting that shower filter as well is a nice perk. I can't remember what that goes for. I should have looked that up before.
Well, that's okay, because people can get a hold of you. I'll give you a plug here. I have the shower filter thing, which, by the way, I want to connect with you afterwards because I need another one.
Okay.
So for those of you listening, we're in the month of June. So Mary, is it until the end of June where that special goes?
June. But
okay.
every month they have some sort of special going on.
Okay.
So if people contact me, when people contact me, I can let them know what the current one is, whatever that is.
Oh, perfect. Okay, that was going to be, that leads us into my next question, which is how can people connect with you to learn more about what you're doing?
So the best way to reach me is via text. I get almost instant reminders that, alerts that it's someone wants me. And so it's not a matter of, I'm not on my email every day. And I'm definitely not on Facebook every day. So I'm kind of a bit of a stranger to Facebook. So I go in there once in a while, but mostly for chicks. Okay.
All right. And so do you want to let us know your phone number if people are listening on the podcast here?
And that's 541-579-4653. And I'll repeat. Have a pencil? 541-579-4653.
You sound very professional, man. I would be ready with that pencil. Now, if for some reason you missed that, you can replay, and I'm going to post that also on the podcast and YouTube. So you know what, Mary, I could listen to you all day. Thank you for being here with us, and I appreciate you sharing your knowledge and your information. I encourage everyone to contact you.
Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Well, thank you to the listeners for spending some time with us. And this has been an episode of Chicks Chat Radio, or on YouTube, ChicksConnect TV. So be sure to check out ChicksConnect. It's a mastermind support network. It's a wonderful organization. You can learn more about it at bit.ly/meet-your-tribe. I'm your host, Tita Freytag, Chair Chick, and your connection to health options that can change life. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone.